It's hello.
Let's get into it.
All right. How was your week, Liam?
It was all right. It was pretty good. Grinded out a lot of schoolwork since we got, 2 weeks left? I have 2 weeks left. Graduating.
All right, you senior, you get it all. You get it a lot sooner than we do.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get all my grades up, get all those. Getting back to those A's, kind of didn't do much for a bit.
C's and B's, and those are like the first time I've ever had them in like 4 years.
Really? You a 4.0 student till now?
More or less. I've had like 1B for all of for sophomore and freshman year.
Dude, you are really falling off, Matt. You're really going off the deep end.
Right when I had like multiple tests.
Sick for a week when I had multiple tests.
There was COVID, and we avoided it for like how many years now? Like 4 or 3.
Yeah, wait, you had... Oh, I forgot you had COVID.
Yeah, I had COVID for that week, and I was really nervous because my entire family got sick, and I was just like there, and I didn't get it for like an entire week, and then I got it for an entire week.
I would be... Milan has COVID right now, guys.
I do not.
I think I would hate having COVID. I could not be in my house for a week. I would, have an anxiety attack.
I was stuck in my room for a week, basically, and it kind of sucked because it's like I went to school and it was like I was extra nervous about getting other people sick, and it's like I tested every single day, and it's just like, well, I got sick, now I'm stuck for another week in my room because everyone else was no longer sick, and I somehow got it.
Yeah, dang.
It was fun.
Was it actually?
No, it was awful. I was stuck in my room for a week, not having COVID because I self-isolated from my sick family, and they didn't want to stay in their rooms. And then I was stuck in my room because I had it, and they all of a sudden didn't have it.
What would you do for this week that you were stuck in your room?
Oh, for the week I was stuck in my room, I basically just read and played video games.
What video games?
That's when I started playing for the first time ever Subnautica, even though I have a horrible fear of the deep sea, and I wanted to start going scuba diving.
Dang, pretty cool. You ever been scuba diving?
No.
Dang.
I have a fear of the deep sea.
Me too. I went scuba diving once. It's pretty crazy. Pretty scary.
How about like those like shelf edges of like when the bank or the reef just stops and like goes straight down, and it's just like, no, stay away from that.
Yeah. How's your week though?
It's all right. I mean, I got it from my grandmother, I think. I genuinely think I did because I was in LA and I met her, and then she got COVID, and I was like, well.
It was your first time meeting her?
No, I'd met her before.
You said I met her, as in it's your first time meeting her.
Well, I met her of course I'd met her a million times before. She's my grandma, but I met her, and then she went to Spain and got COVID, and I was like, oh, that's not great.
We're on the discussion of COVID, right? And that reminds me of something I saw earlier. So I was reading through the reviews of the Benville Pine School District, and there was one person who had 1 star, and it had the most stereotypical conservative viewpoint on they're sending away those honorable and respectable teachers because and they were talking about the COVID vaccine, and that the teachers got fired because they didn't get the vaccine, and it was those honorable, respectable teachers, and it's all because of those Democrats who don't know how to think for themselves, and it's the most stereotypical review ever, and it was can you get any more stereotypical? You sound like the Democrat who's doing a satire review.
Dang. I actually wrote that review. That was me.
Was it you?
No, it wasn't actually me.
I didn't read the name, so.
I did not.
It was a dude by Matt, M-A-T-T. It was not me.
Hey, guess we have the show right now, guys.
Matt.
M-A-T-T.
Matthew.
So, as a COVID denier.
What are your opinions?
Hey, you were talking about teachers, though. You were writing a story on something with the teachers union. Please tell me more. I've been very interested in that. I saw them they've been protesting a lot, it seems like. They were outside of the district office a couple days.
What day was that?
I think it's been the past 2 Thursdays. Or no, it was not. I think it was last Thursday, then 2 Thursdays.
Not June 18th, May 18th, sorry.
Let me pull up my calendar. Yeah.
That was when the school district responded to the original proposal of the BEA, which is the Band Education Association, which is the teachers union.
And they didn't like that response, did they?
The teachers union, the BEA, from what I heard from teachers, is they asked for, the 3 main points of what they were asking for in the proposal was wage increases, more prep time, and smaller class sizes. And in the original proposal that the BEA gave to the school administration is they asked for a 13% increase in rate in wages in the first year, totaling up to 16% by the second year. And the school district came back with a 2% raise. And the reason why so many, from what I understand, is a lot of teachers feel almost like infuriated by that response is 2% isn't even enough to cover the cost of living increase over the past year, which would have been 3%. It definitely does not account for inflation, which is like 6.5% right now. And the reason the teachers were asking for what many might consider a high amount, 13% in the first year, is, well, from what's explained to me, it's not uncommon right now because there were 2 other school districts in Oregon which had large increases in wages to the teachers. And also the Ben Lapine School District, the BEA, in I'm not certain, but I think it was 2009, 2011, the BEA agreed to take no wage increases because there was economic turmoil in the time. So that means they technically took a pay cut because inflation, right? And the cost of living increases. So they haven't gotten much of an increase over the past 10 years, right? Because after that it was basically just keeping up with cost of living. So they're asking right now to ask the school district, hey, we need we need more money because I've asked a couple of teachers and they're either living in Redmond or they have spouses who are working 2 jobs or they have been here for 50 years and built their house. So most of the teachers who are living here either have spouses who make more money through working harder, having better paying jobs, or they don't even live in Bend, they live in Redmond. And that's just because prices here are so expensive and cost of living is increasing so much. So the teachers are asking for 13% in the first year because of that. And, lost my track of argument. They're asking for 13% and the school district coming back with that 2% is it felt very infuriating to the teachers.
Insult.
Yeah,
true.
Many of the teachers said they felt insulted by it. And the BEA, from what I understand, is basically saying to the school district, hey, you guys either need to find the money by changing where you're spending it, cutting off other workers, things like that, or you guys need to ask for a local option levy from the taxpayers, which is basically asking for a increase in the property tax in order to pay for their their wages, just because they get paid so little. And that's the main argument from what I understand so far, the main argument for the wages so far.
I have a question. Is every teacher in Ben Lapine School District, are they automatically part of the union? Are all of them in the union?
I'm not 100% certain on that. From my understanding is most teachers are part of the BEA. From what I understand, the BEA works for all certified teachers, all certified employees of the school district, which are teachers, right?
Yeah.
Not classifieds, so that'd be janitors and stuff because they're not certified through teaching license.
But do they work for every is every teacher automatically part of the union? They are.
I don't know if all teachers are automatically part of the union. I know that the BEA works to improve the benefits for all teachers, but I'm not certain if all teachers are part of the BEA. I know most teachers do pay towards the union, towards the BEA, but from what I understand, some teachers don't pay towards that, so I'm not certain if they still count as a member or what.
My other question is, okay, can't they leverage themselves very well? What's to stop them from, if every single teacher just stops teaching and just they just go on strike, what are they gonna do? They can't do anything about it, can they?
The strongest argument that
They have enormous power.
Yeah, the BEA holds enormous power, but if they were to strike, most teachers are either teaching because, they get a literature degree and it's what else am I going to do for a job? So they go into teaching, or they teach because they really love the job. It's similar to pediatricians who also get paid very little compared to other doctors. Mm-hmm. And they do it mainly because, they're there for the students, right? They want to teach the younger generation. So threatening to strike goes against from what I understand, their main motivation for teaching, which is, to improve the benefits towards students. And they're trying to get better benefits for themselves because, they're teachers, they're doing a job, they're working extra hard, they're doing a lot more than other professions. They're getting paid less for their degrees, and they're working towards improving the benefits for their students. And they're like, hey, we aren't getting paid nearly enough to continue doing this sort of stuff. And if I do not get some sort of compensation which is worth the level of work I am doing, which would, even with that 13%, it would still be lower than other people of their degrees, which are only masters and bachelors. And they also have license for this. And I want to teach students, I want to improve their lives, and if I were to strike, that would weaken this. And the administration, all they can really argue against that is either, hey, we're doing this because we don't have much money and we're trying to improve the benefits for students as well. They try to empathize with the teachers and say, we're doing this for the students, we don't have enough money to pay you. But at the same time, it's if the teachers want to, if the district doesn't have a strong enough argument, the teachers can say, hey, our compensation is not nearly enough for how much work we're putting forward towards the students, because they work really hard. They teach multiple classes, which is a lot of different preparation which is needed. Most of the time they carry work and grading like outside of the job.
Yeah, and then they don't get paid for that.
Yeah, they don't
either,
get paid for any of it.
Crazy.
And it's like, hey, we want more prep time as well, because other professions have like 25% of their time is preparation for their clients, right? Or sometimes even more, sometimes a bit less. But teachers have like 1 period out of like 7 most of the time, which is in the contract. 1 period out of 7, which is like 72 minutes, which is 1 period out of 7 isn't, 25% of their time for preparation. And they teach multiple different classes. So it's not one job they're doing, it's multiple, because they have to prepare for like algebra students, but they also have to prepare for like geometry students. So they're working almost multiple jobs and they don't have as much preparation time. So that entails that most of the time they're going to have to take their grading or their job off of the school campuses outside of their work time and do it at home or in any free time they have. And teachers are just like, hey, we want to get paid for some of this work because we're working extra hours that we're not getting paid for, and we understand that, but we want to get paid at least a reasonable amount, especially in Bend, because prices are super high here, and if we don't, we're willing to strike even though it might hurt the students because, hey, we're not getting enough money for our job, which is really difficult, and we work extra hours, and they just want to be paid a reasonable amount, even though that reasonable amount is still lower than other jobs.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Very reasonable stuff, because as we go through all stages of school, we hear from teachers about how grading time is not paid for and how a lot of gripes they have with all this stuff, and you think, well, they're doing a really important job, and if the school district isn't listening to them, that's not gonna bode well for the future of our education. And one thing I'm wondering is how the school district hopes to maneuver this situation, right? Because union, they send out this thing we want 13%, and then if the school district comes back and says 2%, they know the union isn't going to accept that. I mean, if they send that out, they know for a fact the union isn't going to accept that. But I wonder where they want to land.
Well, they could just be sending out hey, we're going to give you guys 2%. Then they go all mad and they're fine, we'll give you 7. And that's a lot better than 2%. And they take it.
It's bargaining almost. I'm not certain if that's how all arguments go, since this is the first union talk I'm going to. But, from what I understand of bargaining, it's you over expect when you first give the prep, or underdo it. If you're a merchant of some kind and you're
a merchant, yeah.
Sorry, it's.
If you're a merchant selling your potions.
Yeah.
I am your potion seller. So I am your potion seller, and you want to sell something to me in bargaining, right? It's haggling, really. It's hey, I'll buy that for maybe 2 gold coins, and it's no, I'll take it for only 50 at the very least, and it's okay, maybe 5, okay, maybe 40, and it's you eventually end up in the middle, and it's that's
I feel like
bargaining or haggling. I'm sorry, that's like a really strange
Negotiation.
example because it's like everything I read with haggling has to do with
What are you reading that has
medieval books.
merchants? What's your favorite medieval book?
That's probably just out like asking him what's his favorite book.
That's really hard
true.
to answer.
Name like a medieval book you've read. I'm so like intrigued by this.
I don't know, like it's not medieval. It's
Game of
fantasy
Thrones?
medieval. No, not God.
Oh, wow.
No,
You're not a Game of Thrones fan? That's
No.
messed up.
I don't even like Harry Potter.
What about
like-
Star Wars?
No.
God, you need to leave. Please get out of here.
Okay, not Harry Potter, but Star Wars. It's good, but I don't know any books about Star Wars.
Well, what's your medieval books? I'm like genuinely curious.
There was one
Series of books which I read, which is I don't know if it's really medieval. I'm trying to think of a medieval book.
Just name a book with merchant in the name. Like they talk about merchants. I'm so intrigued by the merchant idea.
Name a book you liked that you read.
That I read, the Five Kingdoms series. That was pretty interesting. It was a fantasy book about like a secondary world almost, and like a young kid gets like pulled into the world and like slavery and all this other stuff and like killing. It's pretty cool.
Dang.
That's fantasy book in a nutshell.
in
Yeah.
a nutshell,
The slavery,
Second World, slavery,
the
death,
the killing, magic.
You can't say that's fantasy in a nutshell, then say slavery is the first thing.
I mean, that's kind of in there.
That's not what we need, okay?
I mean, that's in a lot of the fantasy shows. Anyways, we're getting a little off track here.
Yeah.
So okay, so back to the unions and whatnot. How long are these debates expected to take?
Well, I don't know how long they're expected to take, but I do know that the current contract that the BEA holds with the district is going to expire on June 30th this year. So I'm assuming that they're trying to get the proposal and the contract done before June 30th, which is when the current contract is set to expire.
What happens when the contract expires?
I have no clue. I just know the contract expires and
Do
something
like
happens.
people not
Is
get
everyone really
paid
worried?
when the contract expires? Is like
The contract is with the union, so it's not like the district's like, oh, we don't have to pay you guys anymore. You're not like in a union.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, because most of the time the contract, from what I've seen, has to do with like benefits towards teachers, it might be that I have no clue about this. It might be that it doesn't matter much over the summer and they want it done before the next school year, but it's very possible that something bad happens that I have no clue what it is.
They better keep all the health benefits for teachers.
Oh, yeah, they definitely should. From what I understand, I heard some teachers talking about it, like they even like reduced prep time, but I didn't see that in the contract.
I feel like it's hard to reduce prep time when it's like you have open periods as a teacher. Like they're not going to be like, yeah, you have 72 minutes. We're going to give you 65. You have to do some work for
Yeah,
7
it's like-
minutes.
I read through the entire. I haven't gotten the BEA's contract yet, but I read through the entire when the administration gave the response. I read through that contract that they proposed, and it seemed like it was the previous contract, which is current in effect, and they just like changed some terms in it and like added.
they like
clauses.
checked it.
Oh yeah, like they spell checked it. Like they kept on going through and like they kept on changing like lowercase letters to capitalized letters, like taking away commas, making it like easier to read, I guess, but I didn't really like see it much. And they also kept on changing the term members to certified employees. And I'm not certain exactly why, but I'm assuming that's like what I said earlier, where the BEA helps all certified teachers, which is like certified employees, instead of just their members, which would be in the member clause.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Love the union. I'm a big unions fan. I think we should all be in a union.
We should make a baseball team called the Unions.
The unions.
Why?
So we can say like, I love the unions, and not get hunted down by like capitalists.
You a big baseball fan?
Yeah, I'm a big what?
Are you a big baseball fan? Is that why you
No, I
specifically
hate
said baseball? Thank God. I'm not. Baseball's okay.
I hate all sports.
Hey, all of them? No
Not
sport
all
you
sports.
like.
Name a sport I like.
Come on. No, I said there's no sport you like. Like, there's actually none.
There are some sports I like, but it's not something like I'll go out of my way to watch it. It's like if it's playing and I have nothing else going on, I might watch it, but I'm not invested in any sport.
What sport? We can't say that and then have nothing to answer. Like,
Well, if it's like
if it's
soccer-
on,
sorry.
I'll watch it. And then
If a football, basketball, volleyball, never tennis, golf, no.
True.
Um,
Love golf.
maybe like Winter Olympics sports, because those are pretty interesting. Gymnastics.
That's a lot of sports. Sounds like you like.
It's not that I like them. It's I'll watch them
You
if
like
they're going
none
on
of
and I have
those.
nothing to
You
go
like
to.
none of those.
It's not like it's like neutrality where it's like entertainment if I feel like it at the time.
True, I guess. Yeah.
It's like it's cool.
I'm like if you were just like sitting here and you were stuck for an hour and there was a volleyball game playing, I would watch it. But if it was a tennis game, I'd just be like, phone.
Yeah. Well, you were so excited the other week to film some sports thing for one of our
That
stories.
was like a month ago, and that was
Track for a story.
You don't like track? Do you enjoy filming track?
The photos on it, I got some good photos, but filming track.
Love track meets. I go to them.
I did track for like a single year. It kind of sucked because that was when I started getting like plantar fasciitis, so like my feet started hurting all the time.
What year did you do it?
Oh, what year was that? I think that was 8th or 7th grade, and like I got strong armed into like doing a discus, and I like tried out long jump, but then I failed miserably. So I tried out discus, and that's what I did.
I think we should have a...
I don't think I went to a single track meet.
An Olympic style competition.
Yeah, with the Obsidian.
Olympic style comp. Yeah, let's just head
The
over-
Obsidian Olympics.
We get all like the random. We should only do obscure sports.
like skeleton.
Like yeah, no like I was like I forget what country I was in, but I was like turning through like the channels. I was on this
That's very obscure here.
and then
Love cricket.
and then I I went to this one channel that was like, and it was this like lady riding a horse. I was like, oh, I know what this is. And then she gets up on the horse and starts dancing. And I was like, okay, what's going on? And then she finished, and like there's like some pop music playing, and they're like, da-da-da-da-da-da, and she's dancing on the horse. And then like she's wearing like, you know those costumes people wear for like ice skating dancing. That's what she was wearing. And then another person comes on and they do the same thing. It was like, oh, it's professional horse dancing.
What?
Yeah.
What country
Dang.
was that?
I don't know what country it was in, but I don't know. It was professional horse dancing.
I would love to be a professional horse dancer.
Yeah.
like a fun
Get on your horse and start dancing.
I think we should do a story on the rodeo when it's here this summer, and I
The
should
rodeo.
ride one of the bulls.
Yeah. Yeah, that's our thumbnail. Liam rides the bull, and then we have like a picture.
Liam rides the bull.
Liam
Next,
rides the bull and
next story is in
crosses.
memory of Liam.
in memory of Liam.
And like a mid story is just gonna be like Gordon bull riding, goring and bull riding.
Speaking of riding, this ties into my into this insane story I was looking
Riding
at somehow.
or right team.
Riding, driving, riding, same thing.
Driving is not riding.
It's riding a car. I just wanted to talk, bring this up. It's been
Alright,
on my mind
tell us-
all day.
Tell us about this crazy story. Liam's got some
So-
crazy stories. He's
so-
got something.
So there's this guy who's getting pulled over in Colorado, routine traffic stop, right?
Mhm.
He's going 52 and a 30, right? So he's like, okay, get pulled over. Officer is walking up to this guy, sees him switch places with his dog, and then he's like, officer, I was not the one driving. It was my dog.
That's my dog.
So he tries blaming it on the dog, and then he just tries running away and instantly gets caught.
Oh, that's pretty great.
Which
that doesn't
is
make
the
a whole
most
lot of sense.
insane thing to me. Okay, first off, they let the dog off with a warning, which is
Why did
absurd
they-
because they're letting him back on the road. That same dog, okay, he allegedly saw him switch spots with the driver,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Allegedly.
He allegedly saw the dog and the driver switch spots. For all we know, this dog could actually be the one who was driving, right?
Okay, you
and there's this
yeah.
maniac dog on the road, right? So he's finally they finally get
As
the
if
dog
like
pulled
this
over.
dog has a driver's license we can suspend.
Yeah, but exactly. They should arrest the dog.
Driving without a license?
Yeah, this dog was driving without a license.
This
But
dog.
I think the real thing they should have done was arrest the dog because they had no proof to like verify the fact that the guy was the one driving.
That actually reminds me of a story about a guy who would drive while inebriated sometimes.
guy was inebriated.
Oh, how wonderful! But they would drive while inebriated, and they took in a loophole of the law or something where you cannot be charged with like anything traffic related if they couldn't like see the keys or something.
So she would throw the
Keys in the forest whenever
Yeah.
they got pulled over, and they would like guzzle a bottle of alcohol to say, "Well, yeah, I have been drinking, but I can't drive because I don't have my keys.
Yeah, they pull you over. What do you mean? I was just the car was rolling. It happened.
Then what
to
do
be
you do
rolling
if
down
you're
the
in a
street,
Tesla? That has no keys.
but- Can you drink and drive in a Tesla?
Well, it's a car. Of course you can.
It's drive. No, like legally, can you drink?
Self-driving cars.
Yeah, can you get really drunk then drive your Tesla?
Well, yeah, because like fully self-driving cars don't really exist.
Yeah, they do. We
Well,
have
like
those.
not a car that like you know those like 50s like futuristic drawings where like people would play Scrabble in the back of a Cadillac.
Who's to stop me from getting in my Tesla, putting it on autopilot, and playing Scrabble in the back?
I guess the police are, because I don't think that's allowed.
Well, how is that not allowed? Why
I
not?
don't think they trust
You have to like have your eyes on the road. Like that's why it's like also it's the safety thing, because these things aren't as advanced as like they would need to be.
No,
Really?
I'm doing it.
You think you're gonna go out and get a Tesla, have it, and then start it driving wherever you need to do, and then just start playing Scrabble in the back.
I'm gonna look at. Actually, that makes sense. If you can't be drunk, then drive in a Tesla. But still,
Well, it's just like it's like if you
I'm
can't.
gonna look it up just in
Okay,
case.
if you see self-driving systems in a lot of cars, they have like these sensors that monitor your eyes to make sure that you're looking at the road. And if you're not looking at the road, then the driving system's like, nah, 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 put your hands on the wheel, drive.
Well, I feel like soon we'll have legal drunk driving once we have better.
Legal drunk driving, I'm pretty sure that's just called like the boonies.
No, but I think we'll have legal drunk driving once we
Legal drunk driving.
once we actually have very good fully automated.
Well, that would just be legal
self-driving
drunk
cars.
scrabbling.
Oh, legal drunk
True.
driving. That's just called
Yeah.
being a senator.
Like it's
True.
like if you have like royal power and like if you're like the emperor of Japan, you just
Yeah.
like you get drunk. It was like, oh, who are you? Oh, you're driving drunk. It's like, no, I'm the emperor. Oh, sick dude. Go ahead.
Who doesn't love abuse of power?
Yeah, but like, okay, who is this guy?
He's just some random dude. I think he was in his 20s.
Was it Florida?
No, it was Colorado.
Oh.
Yeah, and he just switched with his dog. Allegedly switched with his dog, quote unquote. Switched with his dog, and like, according to the police officer, and
Why do you believe
Police-
that this dog is the one who actually drove the car?
because I feel like there's a chance, and I feel like they shouldn't just let him off with a warning. If this dog is about to get behind the wheel again with no license, drive 52 and a 30, and potentially harm other people.
This dog is like what we should suspend this dog's license. I don't know.
Yeah. And okay, and the guy got arrested,
Yeah.
obviously, because he also showed signs of intoxication.
Yeah.
But again, they haven't done like the body cam footage hasn't been released, which I think they might be hiding it because they haven't proven that the dog was not the one driving. And I think I've seen plenty of videos of dogs driving.
Really?
Yeah,
I
look
need
at
some
this.
evidence that dogs are capable of driving.
There's so many
Look,
videos of drunk
Let's
driving.
see this.
Look,
So if that dog is trained to drive cars, who's to say that that driver, the dude, trained his dog to drive him home while inebriated so he didn't drive while drunk? He's a responsible member of society.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Yeah.
do you get arrested if you get in your car and your dog also gets in your car? You're really drunk and your dog just starts driving you around?
That seems like a perfectly reasonable legal excuse.
No, the only reason
know.
this dog is doing it is because they're holding a treat for him so that he moves his
No, but they're
paws that
training him.
way.
He could. This proves that a dog is physically able to drive a car.
Yeah.
Does it not?
Yeah, I guess so. And so if this man, who has the capacity to get drunk and drive, has the amazing idea, presumably while they are sober, by the way, to have their dog drive them. Actually, maybe not while they're sober. Maybe while they're drunk, they're like, "Hey, what if I take my dog and have my dog drive my car?"
Okay, the
the
problem
police
is-
can't get.
We keep talking about this man, this drunk driver, whatever. The problem is no one is focusing on what they're doing with the dog now. We have crazier things have happened. We have no proof that this dog was not the one driving. And according to it's really this guy's word against the cops' word.
And I trust his word more because he had a dog.
Yeah, exactly. You must be a nice guy.
Yeah.
And it's like I want to see the body cam, and I think we should follow this
We need
up
to see
if
the body
once the
cam
body
footage.
cam.
Should do a public
Footage gets
request for the
released.
body cam.
I will. Like, this is very important to me because I
need-
don't want this guy falsely incarcerated for his dog. Like, if his dog is the real menace behind all of this, like, he's the villain.
Who knows? Like, really? Like, this dog is a menace to society.
This dog could be getting drunk and driving himself around.
The dog was also holding the dude hostage because he ran away once the cops came over, and he was trying to get away from the dog.
He's like, thank God.
Not
thank
the cops.
Thank God you guys got here and were able to stop this dog.
Yeah,
He has been driving like crazy.
The dog
He
is-
won't let me get out.
The dog.
threatening me with rabies otherwise.
Yeah, the second, is it not a coincidence that he was speeding, but the second the dog stopped the car, he got out running?
Yeah.
He was obviously trying to get out of this car, and he was like, I need this dog to stop. Like, this is getting too crazy.
This dog is in control. This dog is actually a crime lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he is. I think they just need to take this dog off the roads and put him in some kind of cell.
They take the dog off the road. Yeah. We've got to revoke his license. Well, he's driving without a license. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
which is another problem.
Yeah.
And they just gave him a warning, which I think.
Well,
I think it's a little
that
bit.
this might point to a systemic issue in America. We don't.
Yeah,
we
we need
don't-
more systemic oppression on dogs.
No. Here's the issue. Here's the issue. We can't. No one gives driver's licenses to dogs.
True.
That
Yeah,
is
for good
so
reason. He's doing
specious.
52 and a 30.
I never realized it, but that is so specious. Like, why don't we give, like, parrots, dogs, cats driving license?
If my iguana can't drive a big rig, then why is it that America isn't free?
They don't even have citizenship.
No,
True.
they're not officially citizens. Like the government doesn't consider them like existing. Like
Oh, animal rights. Now that's a good discussion.
and yeah, we need
We need a vegan on here.
I need a vegan.
Talk about animal rights.
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't want cows to have driver's
Talk about
license. Just
animal
dogs.
testing.
You guys want me to talk about animal testing?
I don't want to talk about animal testing.
Okay,
That
well,
doesn't
So
seem like a
depressing.
great place to go.
Horrible, because rats, mice, and birds, right? All other animals have some rights, but then the agencies who test on animals, right, lobbied the government to not include mice, rats, and birds in the definition of animals, so they weren't given rights in testing.
So, like hair companies and stuff, like hair product companies, things like that, they could say no animal testing and still be testing on those animals. Still be testing on like mice and birds and stuff.
Maybe that's how they get around it. I've heard that argument before, but in the definition for like
Animals.
animals have rights in testing, right? It was specifically defined as mice, rats, and birds were not defined as the animals in that argument. So it could really be true that in those, whenever like companies like no testing on animals, then they could be referring to that argument. I never thought about it like that, actually.
Isn't that kind of crazy?
Screw
should
you
start on
if
that.
you're a cosmetic company and you do that.
True.
'Cause that's not great. And also, we need to get the message out. Call your senator. Call your mayor. Call the guy who cleans the street. Tell everyone we need to get animals' driver's licenses, and only specific animals. I think some animals are
That's super specious.
I don't know if a certain I don't think animals like I don't know. Like how would a
we're
bird
gonna
drive
get
a car?
canceled. You.
I don't think.
Hey,
it's
we
strong
can't
enough.
go into this. You're gonna get canceled. We're gonna have to shut the whole podcast down. That's gonna be bad.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We already went too far.
It's going a little crazy here.
Yeah.
Here on the
It's going-
podcast?
You're going way too far.
Yeah.
Hey, your sun chips, Matt.
First time someone has eaten on this podcast, in which we normally eat. I actually forgot my chips were there.
Okay, love the whole shtick with the whole eating on a podcast. I feel like eating and talking don't really go hand in hand.
Not
So
a
I
whole
feel
lot.
Might need to
It's called multitasking.
maybe revamp it. We'll figure it out.
No, I think we still eat because no, you just eat when someone else is talking, but I forgot.
I just feel like because you get stuff in your teeth and it's like,
Well, I mean-
Like vertical chips in one of my teeth, now it's stuck there.
The chips are quite loud, like like that's terrible. That's terrible. Let's get some ASMR. I'm gonna cut this out.
all right, we're.
Let's cut that out. We don't need some ASMR.
I think we wrap anyways right now, probably.
Yeah, it's all right. All right. Well, thank you, Matt, for bringing us
Yeah,
the
shout out,
update
Matt.
on the union talks. We certainly hope.
Do not quote me for any of my statements.
Okay, you didn't say anything on the podcast.
Yeah, this is all off the record.
all off the record.
All off the record,
No, you
just
can
like
put a video, but I'm telling the
all
video.
off the record, just like every episode.
Do not
Matt,
quote
Matt,
me
we're
for
done. We're
anything I said because
all off the record, just like every episode. We'll see you again next week.
Exactly.
Have a good one, guys.
You cannot sue us in court.